Hey everybody, it's Tim with the University of Vinyl, back with another video today. We're going to be taking a little bit of a field trip down to Boulder, Colorado. Went to the grand opening of Paradise Found Records, which formerly known as Bart's Records. So Bart's Record Shop has been around in Boulder for decades, and they have had an ownership change over the last 4 or 5 years. And they relocated to a prime location on the Pearl Street Mall, corner of Pearl and 17th Street. And what I love about that, you know, the pandemic has wiped out a lot of retail. There's different situations out there, whether it's greedy landlords raising rents or refusing to give rent relief, things like that. But what I love that has come out of this situation is we have a record shop on a prime corner location on the Pearl Street Mall. If you don't know, Pearl Street Mall is a pedestrian street, mostly pedestrian, in the heart of Boulder. It's basically like an outdoor mall, one of the best retail experiences you can have just walking out in the open air. You've got the Flatirons to the west, and just a perfect situation. So Paradise Found, they announced that they were going to be having their grand opening, and they opened at 11 a.m. and there was a line out the door. Pretty cool. They were being very careful in the current situation. I think they only allowed 12 people shopping at a time, but there was no time limit. I spent over an hour in there, walked out with 4 records that I'm going to show If you don't know Boulder, Boulder is, it's a historical counterculture capital. It's a college town. University of Colorado is there. But Boulder is it's in the same conversation as Berkeley, California, and Ann Arbor, Michigan, as far as counterculture, historic communities goes. And according to legend, Boulder used to have the highest amount of record shops per capita in the country. So it's nice to see, a record shop. Here we are in the land of, Patagonia, Land's End. There's some higher end shops right on Pearl Street Mall. So I had gotten a heads up that Paradise Found Records had recently picked up a couple very, very large collections. There is some people I follow on Instagram here locally, and the guy did one of these before and after shots showing a whole room filled with the IKEA calyxes, just with his collection, and then the next shot was empty. And it turns out that he had sold his entire collection to Paradise Found, and he had given me a heads up that they were planning on showcasing a lot of his stuff for the grand opening and kick off the new store. So I wanted to make sure I went there, and I'm glad I did. I'll show the first thing I picked up. This is Van Morrison's, I believe it's his 5th album, Tupelo Honey. The cool thing about this is it's a white label promo, and the record itself is near mint. This thing is near mint as well, basically, but you can kind of see the running order there, and cool artwork. If you're familiar with that album, you've probably seen this. You know, as far as the history of this album, Tupelo Honey, um, apparently Van Morrison, after the Woodstock, he was living in Woodstock, New York, and after the Woodstock Festival, you know, summer of 1969, he started working on a new album, and his wife and himself were becoming kind of disillusioned with Woodstock. After that festival, apparently the little town had changed character, and there was a bunch of looky-loos and tourists there on the weekends, and just wasn't what it used to be. So they ended up moving to Marin County, just outside of San Francisco, and that's where this album was recorded. So, you know, one of the better songs on this album is Old Woodstock, which is a great track. But the other standout tracks on this album, you know, Tupelo Honey, of course. I Want to Rue You is a really nice song. The big radio hit is Wild Night. And Starting a New Life is good too. But I was super happy to find this. I don't know if it was from that person's collection or not, but it was kind of on the, you know, the cool wall that they had, and there's the white label promo. So this is an album that I had in almost every format in the old days. So cassette, then I got the CD, but I never had it on vinyl. And this is another thing I picked up the other day. Again, this is a promo as well. Just got the gold promo stamp. Things in basically near mint condition all around. But what, you know, what an escape for 40 or 45 minutes, however long this album was. So smooth. I can just remember this was a favorite for many years. And you heard a lot of these songs on the radio. Avalon came out in 1982, and I believe there would be one more Roxy Music album at that point in time in their career after this one. Of course, More Than This, The Main Thing, To Turn You On, Avalon, of course, title track. My wife and I saw Brian Ferry summer of 2019 in a smaller theater in Denver, and he puts on a great show. I mean, he's got to be 70 years old, but he came out suit and tie. Band was incredible, and anyway, happy to have this. So Love You Live. This is the double live album from the Rolling Stones that came out in 1977. Apparently they took most of the material from their 1975 and 76 tours, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, it's got that iconic, another package put together by Andy Warhol. Very cool. Very cool inner artwork. What I love about this album is, first of all, it's the first, well, I think Ron Wood was on Black and Blue, but this album has a lot of Ron Wood on it. It was his first tour with the Stones, and it's kind of a strange document. So a lot of the stuff was recorded in arenas in Europe, in Paris, I believe, but there are 4 tracks that were recorded at a 350-seat club in Toronto. And remember, you know, Keith Richards had a big heroin bust that may or may not have happened in Canada. I don't remember, but there were some circumstances where as part of the deal, they had to come back and perform in Toronto or something like that. I may be totally wrong. Put it in the comments if people know the exact history. But I do know that there are 4 songs on this album. They are all from side 3, And luckily enough, we have a little guide there on the back saying, yeah, this is the El Mocambo side. So Manish Boy, Cracking Up, Little Red Rooster, and Around and Around. If you listen to that side, it's very, very intimate, and you can hear the crowd noises is like, you know, you feel like you're 10 feet away from the Rolling Stones, and being in a 350 person club, you definitely get that atmosphere. But right on the beginning of Manish Boy, you can hear some lady screaming, "Hey, come on, sit down." So I kind of love that, pretty charming. And you know, it's as far as the performance by the Stones, they had Billy Preston with them, so you have some keyboards and things, piano as well. They played a lot on this album from It's Only Rock and Roll. And then there's like one side, it's basically a greatest hits side. It's Only Rock and Roll, Brown Sugar, Jumpin' Jack Flash, and Sympathy for the Devil. That's side 4. But this is a very cool document in time. And Keith Richards and Ron Wood sound great. And so does, you know, Charlie Watts and Bill Wyman were in the pocket as usual. But this is a great album. It's not very expensive, pretty easy to find. And I would go for an original press if you can find it. So the last thing I picked up this day was Ariel Ballet, Harry Nilsson. This is a real awesome classic. The variety of styles of singing that Harry Nilsson has on this album is incredible. You know, back when this came out, apparently the Beatles gave an interview about something else, and someone asked them, "Oh, you know, who do you like these days? What are you listening to?" And John Lennon had said, "Oh, Harry Nilsson is my favorite pop singer right now," which made everybody go out and check out what he was doing. But this has got, of course, Everybody's Talking, the Midnight Cowboy theme track that was part of that movie. One, which was covered, of course, by Three Dog Night, but I prefer this version. And Little Cowboy is great. And then also, so this is a mono press by Sundazed, and kind of came in that gold yellowish hue, kind of similar to Harry's hair, I suppose. But super happy to find that. That's it for today, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. I recently picked up these. I keep getting bombarded on Facebook and Instagram for these calyx shelf spacers from a company called Turntable Revival. And they're on the way. I fell victim and purchased them because I do need kind of a better solution than what I'm using here to keep all these records kind of organized and front and center. So I might throw up a quick video over the weekend letting you know maybe a quick review on those. Take care.